Hello and welcome to a Fallout 4 challenge run series that I am beginning. My name is Corey, just Corey, and so I've always kind of felt that Fallout was a game that was a bit on the easier side, even in survival mode with all the changes that are made there. And so I got to thinking about various challenge runs I could do, and I asked my friends for some suggestions, and they came up with things like no stim packs or certain weapons only, like no rifles allowed, or no VATS was an interesting one. And I kind of liked all of the ideas individually, but I never really felt like any of them, except maybe VATS, added much to the difficulty. So I've decided to do all of them. I'm going to be doing a Fallout 4 challenge run with no stim packs, no healing items, no RadAway. I will obviously need to eat to survive, and that will heal me. And I will be allowed to use doctors and things like that. This isn't a you only live once run. I am no miniature nerd, though I have taken a lot of inspiration from his series and his videos for this playthrough. I really enjoy him, and if you like this content at all, you should definitely give him a chance. He puts out some fantastic videos. But for now, I think we're gonna go ahead and get this started. And yeah, let's get over to character creation pretty quick here.
War never changes.
You're gonna knock him dead at the Veterans Hall tonight, hun.
You think?
Absolutely. Now get ready and stop hogging the mirror.
Right.
Alright, so here we are. I usually play as the female survivor, but I'm thinking for this run I'm going to go through as the male survivor. The lines will be a little bit newer to me. It just keeps things interesting for me, I think. And yeah, I'm not. It doesn't make a huge difference one way or another, but I think that's what we're going with today. Let me just make a couple changes here. So yeah, I think that's what we're going with. Not many changes. Just added a beard, changed eye color a little bit. Nothing major. I don't mind the default male character, honestly. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Your coffee. 173.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Brewed to perfection. And today's newspaper just delivered.
There's the Vault-Tec guy over at the Neighbors. Let's get him over here and get this character build started. And I'll kind of explain my thought process of why I'm taking the certain stats I'm taking.
Can you get that? It's probably that salesman. He comes for you every day.
Alright, here's the Vault-Tec guy.
Good morning. Vault-Tec calling.
Go on.
Nice to find you, sir. You can't begin to know how happy I am to finally speak with you. I've been trying for days. It's a matter of utmost urgency, I assure you.
I always wonder if I was avoiding him or if the Vault-Tec guy just had bad timing. But I'm here now, so...
I'm here now.
So you are. So you are. Now, I know you're a busy fellow, so I won't take up much of your time. Time being a precious commodity. I'm here today to tell you that because of your family service to our country, you have been pre-selected for entrance into the local vault. Vault 111.
Sounds great.
Oh, it is. Believe you me. Now, you're already cleared for entrance in the unforeseen event of total atomic annihilation. I just need to verify some information. That's all.
Now, I can't wait for the world to end.
That's the spirit. Now, let's see.
Alright, so I believe that this is the character build I'm going to go with. I've put a little bit of thought into it. The thing is, in a run where I can't use VATS, there's a large swath of talents that are just no longer available to me. And this, notably in luck, there's a lot of talents that have to do with criticals, and criticals are only achievable through VATS, so I won't need any of them. But I do want eventually to take a couple points in Bloody Mess just for the extra damage they'll let me be down the line a little bit. So I think 2 will be fine for now, and then when I eventually get the bobblehead, that'll open up Bloody Mess. That's actually kind of my strategy for a lot of these points. I know where most of the bobbleheads are. Yeah, I know where most of the bobbleheads are. Maybe all of them, at least for the special ones. And I've kind of set my points accordingly. There are talents that I can take at lower levels that will fill in the time before I get most of them. But with the exception of strength, I've set most of my... Yeah, I've set every other stat to 1 below the final ability that I believe that I'll be wanting in every tree. Strength I'll eventually bump up to be able to get some strong back, because in survival mode I always have issues with carrying capacity. But that'll be down the line. That's kind of a lower priority thing. Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, I think our survivor's name will be Corey. Just Corey. I don't often have the chance to name survivor after myself, since I usually play the female survivor. So let's do that. Why not?
Wonderful. That's everything. Just gonna walk this over to the vault. Congratulations on being prepared for the future.
Thanks again.
Hey, it's peace of mind. That's worth a little paperwork, right?
For you and Sean, no price is too high.
Good answer.
I have my moments.
It's kind of strange to me that we're the last house that he visits. There's clearly more houses down the block, but apparently he's going straight down to the vault.
I think he needs some of that paternal affection you seem to be so good at.
You heard Codsworth. Go on. How are the 2 most important men in my life doing? Spin the mobile a bit. He loves that. Hey, how's my little guy? Much better now, huh? Listen, after breakfast, I was thinking we could head to the park for a bit. Weather should hold up.
Will it be like that night in the park a year ago?
Sir, Mum, you should come and see this.
Codsworth, what's wrong?
Followed by yes, followed by flashes, blinding flashes, sounds of explosions. We're trying to get confirmation.
What?
We seem to have lost contact with our affiliate stations. We do have coming in. That's confirmed reports. I repeat, confirmed reports of nuclear detonations in New York and Pennsylvania. My God.
Oh my god.
We need to get to the vault. Now!
I've got Sean. Let's go.
Sanctuary Hills.
You know, this beginning to just the brightness of this area is so well done. I think it looks really nice. It looks very idyllic, and yeah, it's just a very pretty area right now. And the game is never quiet like this again at any point.
All vault participants, check in at the gate. That's absurd! I am
Not on the list. You don't get in.
I'm going in. You can't stop me. Okay. I'm reporting this.
If you're in the program, step forward. Otherwise, return home.
We need to get in. We're on the list.
Infant, adult male, adult female. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Good luck, ma'am.
You two, follow me.
God help
Go!
us all.
What's gonna happen to all those people outside the
We're doing
gate?
everything we can. Now keep moving. Step on the platform in the center.
Almost there. We're gonna be okay. I love you. Both of you.
We love you too. Oh my god!
Let's send it down.
Hold on.
Yeah, I like the intro to this game. I think it's well done.
We did it. We made it. We're okay.
Everyone please step off the elevator and proceed up the stairs in an orderly fashion.
No need to worry, folks. We'll get everyone situated in your new home. Vault 111. A better future underground.
So we just...
Yes, up the stairs.
I can't believe it. They left a minute later.
No, don't get caught up thinking about that.
Just this way, please.
Good. Step over to the table. Take a seat.
You'll need your suits before we can take you further.
Thanks. What now?
Just follow the doctor here. He'll show you where to go.
All right.
It's gone. Our home. Everything we had. Good fit. I was checking on the going over all that information. Just a few medical items for the future. Just step in here and put your vault suit on.
It's right into the decontamination pod. What could possibly go wrong?
The pod will decontaminate and depressurize you before we head deeper in the vault. Just relax.
Time for a whole new life.
Resident secure. Occupant vitals normal. Procedure complete. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And out we pop.
Come on! There has to be a release! Come on, come on, come on! Oh, God!
There's our dead wife. No bullet hole in her head. Must have froze right over, clearly.
And I'll get Sean back. I promise.
I don't know why I always grab the wedding ring. It's just a thing that I do. It's just the first step of Fallout 4 for me. Now, as far as the challenges that I'm doing here, the no VATS is probably the most difficult challenge that I'll be doing. The no rifles, I believe, is possible, though I do think that the no stim packs will certainly make some areas interesting, and I'm extending the no stim packs to like no RadAway also. Yeah, though, like I said, I will be using doctors and healing. I'm not opposed to healing in general. Just no going into my Pip-Boy and healing, basically, especially mid-combat. Okay, and here we come to the first combat of the game. Nothing in the vault should be very difficult, even without VATS. I just gotta hit a rad roach, even in survival mode, you bastard. Even in survival mode, I mean, this isn't a dangerous area.
What the hell?
I'll also be wanting every single one of these bottles right now because in survival mode, drinking is of course important. Keeping hydrated and staying fed. And in survival mode, you can always take a bottle to a fountain and fill it up. And since we're in a vault, the water that I'm able to fill it with is actually purified, so incredibly useful. There we go, filled up all those bottles. I'm gonna go ahead and take the game out of here. Just, I don't know, I'm a collector. Is what I do. Alright, I certainly didn't find much of value in there, but that's fine. That electrified floors, no bueno. Oh, don't want to hit that one. Yeah, there we go. Definitely want to collect the meat for now. You coming over? You fine? You just kind of chilling out? Okay. Well, I don't think so. There we go. Mostly just wanted the XP there. And this is the first gun of the game, some stim packs. While I can't use them, they are still useful to sell. I actually think that with all the ammo and the amount of guns I'm not able to use with rifles being out, that's going to be a decent source of caps coming in, so I should be relatively flush with money, honestly. Alright, just grabbed the extra ammo out of the Overseer's room there. I will take those glasses. Let's go ahead and pop open the door there. Alright, there we go. And even in survival mode, I definitely don't think that I need to be wasting my bullets on these guys. Oh, wait, actually, can I change? Yeah, there we go, okay. I never actually tried to change weapons there before. I don't have my Pip-Boy yet, so I can't actually pull my menu up. And collect all the meat, that tasty, tasty rad roach meat. What? Oh, you bastard. Alright. Let's go ahead and grab the Pip-Boy. just shake a little skeleton hand out of it, no big deal. Sometimes there's skeleton hands in your computer equipment, you just, you know, just get it out of there, it's fine. And just like that, we have a menu.
Vault door cycling sequence initiated. Please stand back.
Alright, but before I head out, I am going to go and take a couple sips of water, get my health healed up. No reason not to, since this is purified water down here in the vault. Alright, that's much better. Little hang there, let's head up to the surface. Really like the whole presentation of this vault. No, I think I'm good with everything. Let's go.
Your turn to the surface, and thank you for choosing Vault Tech.
And out into the sunlight we come. And we are greeted with a shocked sigh at the desolate wasteland surrounding us. Well, before I head back to Sanctuary, there is some decent loot in this first little area right here. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. Molotov cocktail, that'll be nice. I think that I'm going to end up using a decent amount of explosives in this run because they're strong, they're very useful, and I'm probably gonna need them, not being able to use bigger guns. Alright, and I found some extra ammo, grabbed a fan out of the trailer back there, which is important because I can get some screws out of that, which are very very useful items in this game. Let's head back into Sanctuary and see what has happened here. Oh, and who's still here just trimming the hedges?
As I live and breathe. Oh, it's really you.
I'm surprised you're still here, Codsworth.
Codsworth? You're still here. So other people could still be alive too.
But of course I'm still here. Surely it ain't any little radiation to deter the pride of General Atomics International. But you seem the worse for wear. Best not let the wife see you in that state. Where is the missus, by the way?
Yeah, about that.
They killed her.
Sir, these things you're saying, these terrible things, I believe you need a distraction. Yes, a distraction to calm this dire mood. It's been ages since we've had a proper family activity. Checkers, or perhaps charades. Sean does so love that game. Is the lad with you?
No, does it look like I have a baby with me?
Sean's been kidnapped. But I'm going to find him. I'm going to get my son back.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Not eating properly for 200 years will do that, I'm afraid.
200 years? What? Are you?
A bit over 210, actually, sir. Or give or take a little, for the Earth's rotation and some minor dings to the old chronometer. That means you're 2 centuries late for dinner. Perhaps I can whip you up a snack? You must be famished.
I don't actually know what food does he bring you. I'm gonna do the speech check because I want the XP, but I don't actually know what food he brings you.
Codsworth, you're acting a little bit weird. What's wrong?
Perfect.
Oh, sir, it's been just horrible. 2 centuries with no one to talk to, no one to serve. I spent the first 10 years trying to keep the floors waxed. Nothing gets out nuclear fallout from vinyl wood. Nothing. And don't get me started about the futility of dusting a collapsed house. And the car. How do you polish rust?
Codsworth, focus.
Whoa. Focus, Codsworth.
I'm afraid I don't know anything, sir. The bombs came and all of you left in such a hurry. I thought for certain you and your family were dead. I did find this holotape. I believe the missus was going to present it to you as a surprise. But then, everything happened.
Yeah, also, sorry, Codsworth, about just leaving you to die in the nuclear explosions. No big deal. Thanks for the holotape, though. What is it again?
A holotape? What's on it?
I believe it's a private message for you. My etiquette protocols would not permit me to play it for myself. Any standard holotape reading device should be able to play it back. Oh, like that Pip-Boy on your arm. That should work brilliantly. Now, enough feeling sorry for myself. Shall we search the neighborhood together? The missus and young Sean may turn up yet.
I think I'll have Codsworth come with me and clear out these bugs, because why not?
All right. Lead the way.
Round 2 serves, sir.
I'm actually, I think that bugs are going to be some of the more difficult enemies to deal with, what with, they're flittering around so much, like bloatflies and the mosquitoes. Yeah, these guys are going to be tougher to hit than usual with no bats. Delicious bloatfly meat. Next house. Surprise! Surprise me. Okay. Yeah, see those bloatflies. I'm already just down to a third life. Those bloatflies are definitely dangerous in the beginning.
Sir, your family isn't here either. They're really gone, aren't they?
Sean's out there, Codsworth. I need to find him.
What about Concord, sir? Plenty of people there. last I checked, they only pummeled me with sticks a few times. Right, home.
I like these people already.
Oh, good. Maybe you'll get along then, and they can help you find young Sean. I shall remain here and secure the home.
Alright, and that, of course, is the next main quest objective, to head down to Concord. But before I do that, I think I'm going to do a little bit of off-camera scrapping. I like to tear down Sanctuary a little bit, get some supplies built up. I won't actually be using Sanctuary that much because in survival mode there is no fast travel, and Sanctuary is in the very top corner of the map, and it's just impractical to come back up this far every time I try to do anything. So while I will break everything down, because I'll probably send a supply line up here, because you get a decent population boost in a quest after the very next quest. So it's a decent farming town. You can get some food going and have it supply your other towns if you want. Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to spend a lot of time necessarily building it up, because I'm just not going to be here a lot. Oh yeah, and here's an interesting little thing, of course, that I always forget about until I'm here, is back around this house, there's actually a little bunker that one of your neighbors apparently was working on, little root cellar. There's some half-decent loot down here. I believe there's some gold bars that I don't think you see too many of those. A couple stim packs, that's just useful for cash for me, aluminum, valuable. But yeah, there's over here some gold bars. There's 3 of them, I think. Yeah, and of course oil is always useful. Safe that I can't do anything with. I actually haven't found any bobby pins yet. I'll take that water though. And back out again. And one other thing about this house, this little tree leads up to the run correctly. This little tree leads up to the roof, and over here, yeah, there's a duffel bag with a pistol and some more rounds and some oil I'll take. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep scrapping down Sanctuary. I'll be right back. And of course, here in your own house, there are 2 things of interest. There is the Grognak the Barbarian comic book.
Perfect.
Which I don't think I'll be doing a lot of melee, but I'll take it since it happens to be there. And then the other thing is in Sean's room, the Your Special book. And I think that I'm going to use it to increase endurance a little bit. Because I do eventually want Demolitions Master. Actually, now's a good time, I think, to talk about my build in general. Let's go into the perk menu here. Oh yeah, and I do have that level up also, don't I? But anyway, so let's see. So as I said, when I don't have VATS as an option, then a lot of perks like Mysterious Stranger, Better Criticals, Critical Banker, Grim Reaper Sprint, 4-leaf Clover, like all of luck just doesn't apply. And that kind of applies to not necessarily all the trees, especially as much as it does luck, but yeah, like I don't necessarily like agility has some good ones, but I don't necessarily need Action Boy. Like I know it helps me sprint. I'll be able to sprint more, but things like Blitz, I don't need high agility. I mean, that's a melee perk anyway. Gunfu, the very top talent, is all VATS related. But as far as my actual build, so the talents that I think I'm going to end up wanting, I tried to build right below them, except for strength. Like I said, I do think I'm going to build up strength eventually and try to get strong back for the first 2 perks, giving me that carry weight. The other ones aren't that great. Action points to run, can't fast travel. I think that one in survival mode actually makes it to where you don't take damage when you're over encumbered. Because in survival mode you do take damage just for carrying too much stuff. But yeah, the first 2 points of strong back will be useful at some point. I definitely want Demolition Expert. But I won't be able to get that until I get the Bobblehead. And that's true of a lot of these perks. The... where is the Oh, that's the perception bobblehead, so that's going to be like literally immediately. That's one of the first things you do. Endurance, of course, I want just because with no healing it becomes important. I think Aqua Boy will be useful at some point just so I can use the waterways to travel. They're really safe and I can get down to areas like Spectacle Island without much trouble. And Charisma, I know I ended up taking 5 points in, which is a lot. I know a lot of people consider Charisma a weak stat, but I do like passing my speech checks, and I will need local leader at some point. I need at least 1 point of local leader because establishing supply lines will be important for any sort of settlement building. I won't necessarily do a lot, but the ones that I do build up, I probably will end up building a fair amount into. And having local leader just lets me scrap all the settlements I come by, and I can send a trade route to them, and have access to the supplies. So it's just useful. My intelligence 5 gives me access to not only gun nut, and I don't think I'll do a lot of hacker. I don't feel like there's much locked behind terminals that you can't just get passwords for. I probably will end up taking some points in locksmith because there's nothing super critical locked behind locks, but I don't know, I just like having access to them. But there's very few master terminals I feel in the whole game. But I took 5 points because the intelligence bobblehead's pretty early in the game, and I will eventually want science, because I assume that I will be using laser pistols at some point, probably plasma pistols at some point as well. But I don't really need anything lower than that. So yeah, that'll be all the intelligence I need. Now, as far as agility, which is actually my highest, it's my highest stat, even though action points are mostly useful for VATS. It still helps me sneak a little bit better, and I need it pretty high to be able to grab ninja later on, because I do want my sneak attacks to be able to do decent damage. Even with a pistol, you can put out a lot of sneak attack damage, I feel. I need a lot of things in the agility tree anyway. Mr. Sandman, I think, will be useful eventually. Maybe not a priority, but useful. And then Sneak 3 is actually going to be very important because then I don't trigger mines anymore. And since I can't use VATS to scout for mines, that's going to be very important. Surviving to level 12 without stepping on a mine will be quite a feat in and of itself. Let's see how many times I get myself blown up. Of course, Gunslinger is going to be important because I believe that most of my damage is probably going to be coming from pistols. I don't really like automatic weapons. I feel they just feel kind of weak to me, and they kind of go through a lot of ammo. And since survival mode bullets have weight, I can't necessarily carry a lot of ammo around anyway, so I just tend to avoid them. I know I can't use rifles. I may end up taking some points in Rifleman because most shotguns fall under Rifleman. And I don't feel like using a shotgun is, violating do not use rifles. So I may end up with some points in Rifleman for the shotgun damage down the line. And then Lone Wanderer. Lone Wanderer is going to be one of the stronger perks that I take. I'm probably going to boost that up pretty quickly. Yeah, because that's such a good one, even though it doesn't... The third perk doesn't come online until level 40, which is way down the line, but it's still very useful. As for my actual point that I have right now, however, yeah, I considered Sneak. Sneak's important, but it's really that Sneak 3 that's important, so I just need to start building it up before level 12. I think for now the most sensible thing to do is probably grab Gunslinger for the 20% pistol damage, because, yeah, like I said, I do believe pistols are going to be my main source of damage. Alright, there we go. You might have noticed I took some damage there. I forgot that there were some rad roaches in this house right here as I was clearing it out, and they kind of got the jump on me. I believe that there is still at least one more rad roach over here, which I might as well go clear out before I finish scrapping the rest of this town. I'm almost done. Yeah, there you are, you bastard. Is there any more in there? I'm hidden, so I think I'm good. Yeah, okay. Back to clearing things out. God damn it, I just got ambushed by another one. I don't know, man. Okay, I think that that's all of them. I think. I'm nervous to keep breaking things down over there, but I should be safe at this point. I might need to make some of my food soon. Actually, I might just do that right now. Come grab this cooking station and bring it over to safety before I cook, but alright, here we are in the cooking menu. I should be able to make a decent amount of rad roach meat. I know it takes 3 for 1, so I shouldn't have an unlimited amount, yeah. So I made 6 grilled rad roach. That's okay. Should be enough to get my health moving the right way, I think. Oh yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Food actually doesn't give me any benefit to my health if I'm hungry, and you can see right now, yeah, right there, I'm peckish, which is, you know, hurting my endurance, and I'm thirsty, which is hurting my intelligence and perception, but those aren't terribly big deals. But because I'm peckish, I'm actually not getting any bonuses off my food, so that's what I want to do first, is I'm going to have to eat some food just purely to get back, there we go, back to properly fed, at which point now the food starts healing me. You can see down the bottom, 30 health. So if I eat 3 of them, yeah, now I had to eat a lot of my food, and I'm only down to 2 food now, but that should get my health moving in the right direction. Oh yeah, safe. This, oh, it's advanced. So this reminds me of a little trick that you can do where, even though the safe is locked beyond my ability to even open it, even if I had bobby pins, which I don't think I have on me right now, I can still scrap it, get the steel, and then you can see up top there the contents are transferred to my workbench. So even though I didn't unlock it because I scrapped it, I still get all the stuff out of it. I lose out on the XP for cracking it, but I don't think I'm going to be taking lockpick for a little while. So yeah. And then, oh, over here, I always almost forget this, but this, yep, guaranteed 2 fragmentation grenades in the trash can here. I learned that from John over at Many a True Nerd. I think this is one of the things he does every single playthrough. He grabs those frags. And then I think one of the last interesting things of note around Sanctuary, I'm almost done scrapping it down, is in this yellow house over here. This guy was a drug dealer pre-war. Or did I forget this stuff? This guy was a drug dealer pre-war, and he's got a lot of information on his little terminal here about the things that he was doing before. He's got this little safe here. The safe has, I don't know, safe has a little tension trigger right there. And tension triggers are something I'm going to have to watch out for in general, because even after I get Sneak 3, tension triggers aren't mines and they aren't floor-based, so I can trigger them no matter what, even with all the Sneak perks. There's nothing to avoid triggering tension triggers as far as I'm aware. Yeah, and they seem big and obvious right now, but they can definitely be hidden sometimes. So yeah, let's go ahead and disarm this one. But yeah, also behind this house is the chemistry station over there. Sanctuary is one of, I believe, 2 settlements in the whole game that has every crafting station available right away. Every other settlement is missing some sort of crafting station, which I thought was a interesting fact. The other one is actually Red Rocket, right down the road. So the very first 2 settlements you find end up with all the crafting stations, but none of the other ones, I don't believe, unless maybe some of the DLC settlements added some, but as far as I know in the base game, these are the only 2 with all of the crafting stations. You got the power armor, the armor, weapons, chemistry, and cooking, and I think that's all of them, yep. Alright. Alright, and that's Sanctuary mostly scrapped. I'd say 95% scrapped. I'm sure I missed a thing or two. But it's got most of it. And yeah, so I'm going to actually build a bed and save all that work, because in survival mode you can only save by sleeping, which I think will come up a lot, because you'll be in the middle of a dungeon and you won't be able to save before a boss because there's not a magical bed right in front of the boss room most of the time. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and sleep for a little while to try to get my tiredness down, even though that does increase my hunger and thirst. I'm going to go ahead and do 7 hours will be just fine. And speaking of survival mode, so it differs from the base mode in a couple ways. Obviously you need food, water, and sleep. That's not too surprising, but you also need to manage your weight a lot more, because your base weight is actually significantly lowered. You can see I have, what do I have? Oh, I only have 3 strength, which isn't a lot, but you can see my carrying capacity on there is 105 pounds, and even just what I have on me right now, I'm at 66, and I don't have any armor. I should put those glasses on. I don't have any armor on. I have 4 pistols for some reason, but yeah, very few weapons. Yeah, so carrying capacity is going to be an issue for a while. Once I get Lone Wanderer, because that'll give me an extra 100 pounds, and Strong Back, that's an extra Strong Back, that's an extra 50 pounds. Not to mention the 3 points of strength getting there should be 30 more. That'll kind of alleviate my carrying capacity issues a little bit, but it's still less than if I was in the regular mode. Especially considering things like ammunition have weight in this mode. See, these shotgun shells weigh 1/10 of a pound each, so I have 1.7 pounds of shotgun shells on me just from these 17 shotgun shells. Yeah, so that adds up fast. Even these low weight items right here, they add weight to you pretty fast. And not being able to use VATS means I won't be able to use criticals, which means things will take more bullets in general to kill, so I'll kind of need to carry more bullets. Yeah, it's kind of a vicious cycle. If I do end up over encumbered, like I mentioned before, I do start taking damage. Not only do I take health damage, but my legs will start to break, so it's kind of double fun. Ooh, legs breaking. I'm gonna have to rethink. Without stim packs, I'm actually not able to heal limb damage, so adamantium skeleton may become very useful later on down the line. Because if I walk into just one mine, I'm going to lose a lot of limbs, and just being shot sometimes, you can just start having limbs just going out. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to have to think about, I think. Yeah, so another thing in survival mode is my compass down bottom is very limited. Things don't appear on it until you're really, really close to them. As an example, you can see Red Rocket right there in the distance. That should, in normal mode, be on my compass, but it actually doesn't appear on my compass for quite a while. I have to get really, really close to it. There should be some like cabins and things on my compass over there too. Yeah, I'm gonna take this tire iron. Don't mind if I do. Shotgun. But yeah, so as you can see, it's still not on my radar. Still not on my. There, just there appeared, and I'm right there. I'm basically on top of it before it finally appears. So that's the thing to keep in mind, is I can't just use my compass to hop from point to point. I'll have to actually be looking around and noticing things. Which is significantly different from the base game. The base game, your compass range is really large, and you can kind of see a lot of landmarks as you're walking around and kind of have some idea where you're going. And I don't have that advantage in this mode. Also, enemies deal a lot more damage. I'm sure you noticed just a couple rad roaches, even though I was melee and obviously taking a little bit more damage than maybe I necessarily needed to, they still were taking big chunks out of me to where I was actually nearly dead just clearing out Sanctuary, just scrapping it. And that's because they deal, I believe, well, I actually don't know how much their damage got increased by off the top of my head. I'd have to look. But it is more. I know that all enemies in survival mode, one of the advantages of survival mode is enemies give you twice as much XP as usual, kind of balance out their more deadly nature. And you also, as the player, kind of deal more damage because I don't think I have any right now because I just slept. Yeah, but you get a perk called Adrenaline every 5 kills, I believe, that you do without sleeping. Increases your damage by 5%, and that stacks up to 50% total. So as you go longer and longer without sleeping, obviously your risk is increasing because you've gone longer and longer since you last saved. But also your damage is increasing. So by the time you get to the end of some of the longer dungeons and you're fighting the kind of the end bosses that you have, like the little named people that tend to be at the end of dungeons, your damage is commensurately higher. So that's good. Enemies in survival mode are much more likely to be legendary. It shouldn't take terribly long before I start running into my first couple of legendaries, and that's a double-edged sword. Having legendary enemies lets me have better chance at legendary gear, of course, but then I have to actually kill the legendary enemy to get it. And a lot of the legendary gear I get is probably going to be VATS related, just because a lot of the options are VATS related. And so I'm going to end up probably selling a lot of legendary gear I get. But having more chances at legendary gear means I'll end up with better gear overall. So that's an upside. I think that's most of the survival changes. There might be a few other things. And then of course on top of that we have the extra challenges I've imposed upon myself, which, as I said before, is no VATS. Can't use my VATS button, which means I can't take easy shots at certain body parts. I can't, get my a bunch of perks to make my VATS shots really accurate to get long-range damage. One of the other challenges is obviously no rifles. I pretty much figure that anything that doesn't have when I hotkey weapons, they have little icons. You can see the pistol right there. As long as it has the little pistol icon, it should be fine to use. I think it's kind of my general rule. What does the shotgun have actually? Yeah, shotgun has a shotgun icon, so that's fine too. But that's kind of, I think, the basis of what I'm going with, because some weapons you can mod. Laser weapons and plasma weapons, for example, use the same base weapon, and just kind of depending on the mods kind of changes whether or not it's a rifle or whether it's a pistol. And I think I'm going to mostly go by that icon to be kind of the official rule, because pistols can have scopes on them, for example, and that doesn't make it suddenly a rifle, but like if I'm sniping with my pistol, it's not suddenly like a sniper rifle, I guess is my point. And I'm not using stim packs, which I think is going to be a pretty high increase in difficulty, because I'm going to have to do really well. I'm not going to be able to... I'm also counting not using Radaway. I'll use Rad-X and potentially other drugs as well, but not Radaway and not stim packs. And that will make things definitely difficult, especially in some of the more radiation heavy areas. It's gonna be an interesting challenge, I think. Let me just make sure that I have everything I need, and I think it's almost time to head out. Yes, see here, and some of the items that I scrapped sent some contents to the workbench, like I said before, and some of it's actually kind of useful, considering the only thing that I have right now is my Vault jumpsuit on, which, while it does have that 5 energy resist, doesn't really have a lot else going for it. The 10 rads resist. I think for now I'm going to probably put on... Let's see, what do I have here? Perception isn't terribly useful without VATS because perception increases your accuracy and increases the range at which enemies appear on your compass, which is actually another change in survival mode. Enemies don't appear on your compass, so that can definitely be tricky. You can lose enemies sometimes and end up being surprise attacked from behind. Yeah, I think I'm going to put on definitely this Sea Captain's hat for that 2 endurance. And everything else is some version of charisma, so let's see. Let's see how they look. Alright, there we have the dirty black suit. This definitely wasn't kidding about that dirty. There's the dirty black suit with the Sea Captain's outfit. There's the t-shirt and slacks, pretty plain, at least it's clean. Not the worst, not the best. Sweater vest and slacks, very pre-Breaking Bad Walter White, definitely a little boring and plain. And we have this nice beautiful floral dress, looking snazzy. I don't know which ones of these can be actually, yeah, it looks like all these are actually, well, except for the dress, looks like most of these take all my armor slots, so I won't be using them for long, but I'll probably keep one of them on me just for the charisma buffs. Actually, now that I think about it, this has 3 weight, 3 weight, 2 weight, and 3 weight, so the laundered cream dress is actually the best option I have stats-wise. So I might just keep it on me for charisma checks, just, you know, to be that little bit of extra persuasive. Gotta look good. Alright, and with that, I think that we are about ready to head out of Sanctuary and get some actual exploring going on. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a part, but next part, we're going to head not to Concord, actually. Going somewhere else because at the end of Concord there's a Deathclaw, and I don't think that I'm currently in a position to be able to handle a Deathclaw, so I've got some other things in mind. I've got a bit of a plan, at least for the beginning. I haven't, like, you know, thought this completely through, but there's a couple good things that I can get while I'm low level that'll be useful for really the rest of the game. And they're nearby, so I'm going to go grab those in the next part, get our first real bit of actual exploring going on, and yeah, see how this challenge mode feels once it kind of begins in earnest. So yeah, I've been Just Corey, and this is I forget that I was in this dress. I think this dress is actually the best armor that I have. No, I can put the vault suit back on. But yeah, I've been Just Corey, and thanks for watching.